budget meeting to order.
Second? Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Belknap?
Yep.
Yes. Scott is not here. Okay. Ms. Belknap,
You gotta speak up.
you here?
Yeah, I said here.
Oh, sorry, Ms. Altier?
That's
Here.
all
And Ms. Gage?
Here.
And Ms. Pennington?
Yes, here.
Let me just, this meeting's required by the state that, every July it actually is due. We have to have a budget hearing to discuss the, projected budget for the year 2025. I asked for an extension of a month because I had to get some things in order before I could even look at the numbers, which the, Portage auditor did grant through the state. So the budget's due by the end of the week into them. This is definitely not the, actual budget. I still have a lot of cleanup to do. There's a lot of things that need to be moved around, and some of our funds need to be cleaned up. I spoke with the, auditor last week, and he did say that some of these funds, we don't need to have 3 water debt service funds or 3 sewer debt service. We can combine those into one and clean it up, and I will reflect that when I do the budget also. But in order to do that, we have to transfer the money into the correct ones. So, I just didn't have time to prepare all that for this meeting. So next month, I'm hoping that we'll be able to start cleaning all that up. I sent you all the financial worksheets. Did you guys have any questions over that at all? It's a lot to look over.
It's a lot to look at.
Yeah. It truly is just an estimate as of right now. I'd really like to get in it with you guys and talk about budgets within the next couple months so we can, be ready to go. In December, we'll have our, meeting for our temporary appropriations for January. And then usually I like to set, usually January, if not by February, we'll have the permanent appropriations done. And that's when the actual budgets will be set for 2025. Okay, so if you see anything in these financial worksheets that catches your eye, when you get a chance to look through them or anything, please let me know. And I can, look into it, but like I said, I'll be able to clean all this up and get you guys cleaner copies within the next month or so.
Okay.
So, once the meeting starts, we'll be able to go, our estimated revenues, for the year 2025 is, $2,398,289.62. That is the projected revenue. Okay? Okay. I think that's all.
So I'd like to make a motion to adjourn. 5:48.
Mr. Belknap?
Yes.
Ms. Belknap?
Yes.
Ms. Altier?
Yes.
Ms. Gage?
Yes.
Ms. Pennington?
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. Let's go ahead and get started with the Pledge of Allegiance at 6 p.m.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Barrett?
Yes.
Ms. Altier? Here. Ms. Pennington?
Yes.
Ms. Gage?
Here.
Ms. Belknap?
Here.
Mr. Belknap?
Here.
All right, so any prior guests, prior request of guests to speak? All right, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from the July 23rd, 2024 regular council meeting.
I'll, make a motion to amend them. Or, I'll second, yeah. Yep, they need amended, so I'll second her motion for amending.
Mr. Barrett?
Yes.
Ms. Altier?
Yes.
Ms. Pennington?
Yes.
Ms. Gage?
Yes.
Ms. Belknap?
Yes.
Mr. Belknap?
Yes.
All right. Fiscal officer's financial report.
We income and property tax collected year to date is $598,635.62. Total revenue collected to date is $1,635,241.03. Our expenditures to date is $1,624,183.83. Fund balance for July is $2,176,125.45. And then I was just gonna say, the auditor was in yesterday and collected all the information that they requested. And he said, he would be back with me, so everything, we found everything, and got everything he needed, so that was good. Very happy about that.
It's very good. Any old business, any topics that we need to discuss?
You want me to bring up the water line in this?
No, we'll leave
Okay.
it to you.
Alright.
All right, council president's report. I don't have anything other than still going out, going to different areas, in Portage County, looking for people who may have an interest in bringing a business in, a restaurant in, a small diner, a small coffee shop or something like that. So again, continuing that conversation out with people in the community. All right. Dispatch, police, fire, and rescue report.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the fire. I don't have police. You don't have anything? Okay. We'll take off the police, just the fire and rescue report. It's for July of 2024, the meeting for that date.
All right, second.
Sorry. Mr. Garrett?
Yes.
Ms. Altier?
Yes.
Ms. Pennington?
Yes.
Ms. Gage?
Yes.
Ms. Belknap?
Yes.
Mr. Belknap?
Yes.
All right, mayor's communication. Mayor was unable to attend this meeting tonight. I have no communication. All right, finance.
Motion to approve the fiscal officer's expenditures as received and expected for the month of July 24, and approve the bills as received and reported.
Second.
Mr. Garrett?
Yes.
Ms. Altier?
Yes.
Ms. Pennington?
Yes.
Ms. Gage?
Yes.
Ms. Belknap?
Yes.
Mr. Belknap?
Yes.
Motion to approve the all funds bank balance for July 24, 2024 as reported.
Second.
Mr. Garrett?
Yes.
Ms. Altier?
Yes.
Ms. Pennington?
Yes.
Ms. Gage?
Yes.
Ms. Belknap?
Yes.
Mr. Belknap?
Yes.
Motion to approve resolution R 2024-14, a resolution approving the 2025 proposed budget and authorizing the fiscal officer to submit the budget to the Portage County auditor and declaring an emergency.
Second.
I do I have to suspend the rules? Okay, I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules.
I'll second.
Mr. Garrett?
Yes.
Ms. Altier?
Yes.
Ms. Pennington?
Yes.
Ms. Gage?
Yes.
Ms. Belknap?
Yes.
Mr. Belknap?
Yes.
Okay, the motion to approve resolution R 2024-14.
I'll second.
Mr. Garrett?
Yes.
Ms. Altier?
Yes.
Ms. Pennington?
Yes.
Ms. Gage?
Yes.
Ms. Belknap?
Yes.
Mr. Belknap?
Yes.
Number D, motion to approve resolution R 2024-15. A resolution authorizing the village fiscal officer under section 715.261 of the Ohio Revised Code to certify the following sums to the Portage County auditor to be assessed and collected as delinquent housing license fees totaling $11,994 as set forth herein, and declaring emergency. I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules.
Mr. Garrett?
Yes.
Ms. Altier?
Yes.
Ms. Pennington?
Yes.
Ms. Gage?
Yes.
Ms. Belknap?
Yes.
Mr. Belknap?
Yes.
Motion to approve resolution R 2024-15.
One second.
Garrett,
Yes.
Ms. Altier,
Yes.
Ms. Pennington,
Yes.
Ms. Gage,
Yes.
Ms. Belknap,
Yes.
Mr. Belknap.
Yes.
Number E, motion to approve resolution R-2024-16, a resolution authorizing the village fiscal officer of the Village of Windham under section 715.261 of the Ohio Revised Codes to certify the following sums to the Portage County Auditor to be assessed and collected as taxes for the mowing of lots contracted by the Village of Windham, totaling $13,625 as set forth herein, and declaring an emergency. I make a motion to suspend the rules.
Mr. Garrett,
Yes.
Ms. Altier,
Yes.
Ms. Pennington,
Yes.
Ms. Gage,
Yes.
Ms. Belknap,
Yes.
Mr. Belknap.
Yes.
Motion to approve resolution R-2024-16.
I'll second.
Mr. Garrett,
Yes.
Ms. Altier,
Yes.
Ms. Pennington,
Yes.
Ms. Gage,
Yes.
Ms. Belknap,
Yes.
Mr. Belknap.
Yes.
Number F, motion to approve resolution R-2024-17. A resolution authorizing the village fiscal officer of the Village of Windham under section 735.29 of the Ohio Revised Codes to certify the following sums to the Portage County Auditor to be assessed and collected as delinquent water sewer rents totaling $221.26 as set forth herein, and declaring an emergency. I make a motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
Mr. Garrett,
Yes.
Ms. Altier,
Yes.
Ms. Pennington,
Yes.
Ms. Gage,
Yes.
Mr. Belknap,
Yes.
Mr.
Oh,
Belknap.
I thought you said Mr.
Sorry, Ms. Belknap,
Yes.
Mr. Belknap.
Yes.
Motion to approve resolution R-2024-17.
Second.
Mr. Garrett,
Yes.
Ms. Altier,
Yes.
Ms. Pennington,
Yes.
Ms. Gage,
Yes.
Ms. Belknap,
Yes.
Mr. Belknap.
Yes.
Right. Thank you. Utilities?
We have no legislation, ahead of us today, so I have nothing.
I have some. I don't know if you guys stopped down and saw the filter that was repaired. I stopped in yesterday talking to Billy. I looked at them, they look nice. Billy and I were talking though, and he thinks, and I shouldn't take his words out of context, but there was a lot of grinding that was done to make the welds look better. And he says there was a lot of time involved in that, so I don't know if next time we should just ask them to leave the welds as they are, because all they do is, in my opinion, they're wasting time, billing more hours by grinding the welds down when they could have just left them as is. It does nothing for the
Doesn't
structural
strengthen-
integrity.
Doesn't
No.
strengthen
No, it just make it look better, but in my opinion, a good welder doesn't need a grinder. So for the next time when we go to do the other filter, I don't know if you agree, but
It don't matter either way to me. I mean, they guaranteed their workmanship, so.
Billy was talking, he's like, it just seems like a lot of wasted time. I think he
Again,
said,
probably think
I had
the price
Bernie
range
Petro
are
come
a
out
little
and
bit
look at
cheaper.
it.
right,
I had Bernie Petro come out and look at it.
okay,
And it's still improvement.
so that's all I had, utilities.
What about any update on the water line?
Oh, so the water line, Mitch got back with me and he wanted, a better, like, diagram, almost like saying exactly where the line would start, where it's going to end, because, the map I gave him wasn't clear enough, I guess. That was the only thing that he's waiting on, so Ryan gave one to me. We were waiting for blueprints, but I guess we don't have the actual blueprints from the village anymore when the lines were put in, they're gone. So this is what I'll get this over to him, and he said he'll start crunching numbers right away.
So hopefully we'll be able to take a look at next. council
Yeah,
meeting.
at the committee meeting.
Bernie Petro is working on his grant writer on the other filter. Yeah. And the only other thing I got for utilities, I guess we'll talk about it now, is the rates for the gas and electric coming up. If we sign Yes, if we sign for 29 months, it'll be 4.7. If we sign for 22, it'll be 4.49, so 4.5, which is relatively fair considering the market, I guess. And then for electric, it's gonna be, I mean, everything went up like quite a bit, but it's gonna be 60 cents a kilowatt, or 6 cents a kilowatt, sorry, 6 cents a kilowatt for 27 months, or 5.9 cents for 20 months. But I'll print this out, give it to you guys so you can look at it, we got time.
We got till October, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we can have it taken care of by September.
Yeah, we signed at the end of November.
Oh, okay.
Are we gonna talk today about
Yeah.
your applicant?
Yeah.
That'd be in
Yeah, we
safety
will
first,
when
huh?
we get to Ryan,
Good.
or, Maryland.
Anybody can chip in, you can chip in,
Good.
you can chip in, we'll all chip in.
Well, we're doing
Okay.
it safety.
On the second filter, you said somebody's working on the plans for it?
Yeah.
Do we have a contract with them to do that? Are we paying
Yeah,
them,
We
or,
already paid them.
oh, they're gonna, it's part
Yeah,
of,
it was, they designed the first and second one.
perfect. Are they putting up big packages together and everything? Are they doing all of that?
We did it under emergency.
Yeah, the auditor said it's not an emergency. I don't know what you think,
A leaking
solicitor?
filter? I mean,
Well, he
that's a
said-
critical piece of it, I mean,
He said,
infrastructure.
he said if you would, a water line break that you have to repair is considered an emergency. Something that you award in February and don't do till August is not an emergency. It should be bid out, cause you know about it now. If you know about it, and it doesn't have to be fixed next week, that's
did
an
actually.
emergency.
Well, it's
It
bid out
was.
based on the amount, not on,
Right, well, the last one was 87,000.
this was supposed
So-
to be 30, wasn't it, 30 or 40?
No, it
That
was
was 60
eight-
of the.
60 plus
our-
20.
our-
Yeah,
Yeah.
so this one's gonna be more, I thought, so we're gonna have to bid
It's
it out.
definitely critical, I mean, we did get it fixed because we couldn't,
Right,
not
but
because we just didn't want to. We
I don't
couldn't.
make,
We
I don't
couldn't
make
get it
ORC,
fixed.
unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm just saying, it's critical, I mean, you can't.
I know, but the rules are the rules.
Yeah, but
So-
you don't pass the permit, or if you're leaking it out and they pull your permit, you can't get rid of waste, I mean.
Gotta do it by the law.
Right, so the first one is fixed and it's held up, right? So the second one, we have more time, right?
Yeah,
To be able to bid it out, is my understanding. So if we could bid it out, we should do it per, like you said, the ORC.
Yeah, we have to.
Oh, this is a different filter than the
Yeah,
first
this will
one?
be the
There's two.
second.
There was 2 of them,
yeah.
We did the first one,
yeah.
the first I've heard of the second.
Yeah, so the second one was gonna be done after we seen how, well, we were gonna wait 6 months to see how the first one held up. So we even
So
have
this will give
time.
us time, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what we said in the meeting, was we
It
wanted to
is.
wait 6
Right.
months, so we have plenty of time to get bids together.
We wanna see if this holds.
Right.
Aren't we also getting a grant? Aren't they
Yes.
trying to get us a grant?
Yeah, but that's what he
That's-
said, but Nicole was wanting to make sure we did it with
Yeah.
3 bids for the next one, because this one is, first one's done and already in place, so we
Yeah.
can get by, for lack of better terms.
Are they actively looking at grants, Ryan? Do you-
Yes.
Okay. All right. If there's nothing
Well,
else.
you need to, if you're gonna bid it, you need to publicize it, you need the 3 bids.
Right.
Bid pack, seal
Yeah,
bids
you know,
and- yeah.
you need help with the bid package or something, you know.
Thank you.
if-
But essentially, the second filter will not be done as an emergency.
If it's not an emergency. then
Okay.
The second one wasn't.
That's what we were talking about, trying to get
First
bids
one
for the
wasn't,
second
The
one.
second one wasn't, right,
Right.
I'm just
Yeah.
commenting on.
We wanna
it.
wait 6 months anyway.
6 months from today. we'll
Yeah.
say
Yeah, if you can wait 6 months, it's not an emergency.
Right.
Right.
All right.
All right, service committee.
I have to wait and talk to Mac about some of the arsenal things that, need to be done inside the library. A lot of those things over there I can't do. They're too heavy to move, and I'm gonna need people over there to help. And I cleaned it up a little bit. And, I cleaned up feces in the other community center. But a lot I have to talk my suggestions. And I do know that we had a conversation, he said he met with the mayor of Newton Falls, and he has some, cause you know, he also, takes a great interest in the arsenal, in their, old stuff, you know? And he has some stuff that he might wanna put in the library. So, I got some ideas that I would like to talk to Matt about. Thank you.
David, economic development.
We have an ordinance amending ordinance number 2024-8. An ordinance amending chapter 1173 to address permitted roofing of the codified ordinances of the Village of Windham. This is just what Chris was talking about at the last committee meeting.
It's just first read, right?
Yeah, this is
So what that is there's nothing in the ordinance on roofing, and I've been going out, you know, having everyone permit them, Nick was doing it, and one of the homeowners pointed that out, I didn't see it, I just see the ordinance, and they're right, there's really nothing in there to say when you do a layover, there's nothing on it, so we kinda need that in there, that way it's there.
Alright, so that'd be the first read of it.
Anyone have any questions on it?
And these are available for anybody that wants to stop in and see them.
Okay. All right, safety and personnel.
Okay, so, does everybody that needs one have, Brandon Nutter's resume? Do you guys need a copy of anybody? No, So, yeah, that's it. Yeah, excuse my notes at the top. So Brandon, we interviewed him twice. Ryan, I, and Mac were here the first time. Second interview, we invited Scott to join and see what he thought. I think that he was a qualified candidate. 30 years old, he's got some experience, working water and wastewater both. He's got the licenses he needs except for the hours, so he's got a little bit of time that he's gotta put in working, and then he'll be fully licensed, right? Is that the understanding of it? But there were a few things we were talking about, pluses, to hiring somebody that's 30 years old. One, he'll be versatile in that when Billy comes down on his hours at the wastewater plant, Brandon could step up and cover that, or, you know, fill that position, also, if we need. It seems like he scored very high on the exams to get the licenses. He's a smart kid, he's smart. The second interview, I felt he was a little more relaxed. The first one, he was kind of nervous, didn't know. But Ryan printed up some materials, the labs that they have to do over there and everything to test. And he seemed like he knew what he was talking about. I mean, you guys wanna chip in and say what you thought?
I would just say that, he has a class 1 in water and class 2 in wastewater. And, so he'd be, once he gets hours in, he's qualified, to run either one, which is really nice. What we need to discuss is what we talked about hourly. If we like this guy, it's not a given, because he has a job right now that he makes more money than we can offer. And whether he decides to leave that and come here or not, that's not seen yet. I wanna say he's currently making 30.
Right.
That's what he's thought, yeah.
Yeah, he just called me yesterday, had a few questions, wanted to know probation, I didn't answer him, I wanted to double check. The first year, I wasn't sure, I have to look, if it's 1 week or 2 weeks for the first year.
I feel
We'd
like
have to look.
it's 2, but I'm not 100% sure.
I
if
thought
that's
it was
what you-
2, but I didn't wanna say nothing.
I think it is,
Yeah.
but, we better look at the new,
Yeah.
cause it may not be the same as what the old one was.
And he said he would be okay with the 27th.
He is okay? And we were, talking to him about 27 an hour, if that's something that,
Well, doesn't he get an increase when he gets his hours?
Yeah, yes.
So
He gets his
each
license.
increase, or each license, he gets an increase, so.
No, he already has his license.
Oh, when he gets,
Oh, it's officially through the, yeah.
Fully,
Yeah.
like.
So I'm just gonna share my opinion just because I do a lot of hiring and at different levels of, professional field. So, age doesn't matter to me, so, you know, you can do the job, you can do the job. My concern is that he's never been a superintendent, right? That's a huge responsibility. He still needs to get the rest of his hours in to be able to complete that job. For me personally, anytime I've ever been promoted, I go into a job and I work and I prove myself that I'm able to take on this additional task. He's had multiple jobs and I'm not sure why he, you know, job jumped or maybe didn't like it, or I'm not 100% sure, but I think I wanna be mindful of when we bring him in and then we reevaluate in 6 months and say, you know, you're meeting the expectation, and so now we'll move you to this level. So, that's just my
So,
yeah, we
in our
have to have
handbook-
Ryan and Billy, show them the ropes and the new plants and see how they, and how he does.
the last three superintendents was kind of thrown into it in this situation. The good thing is, like, he's got plenty of hours, you know what I mean? Like, the superintendent over there, you order chemicals, you follow the sample plan, and you do your work orders. I mean, with oversight, I think it'd be fun.
Plus in our handbook, it gives everybody that's hired, no matter who you are, according to our handbook, you get 6 months vacation, or, probationary period.
Right,
So that's in our handbook already.
yep.
How would it like to work, Steve?
Then you got Andrew, who's been there for a while and knows how that plant runs. That'd be a big help. And hopefully, if it works, we may get some longevity out of it.
Well, that's why I brought up his age. He's a younger guy. I think he's looking for, most of his jobs here were in the water or wastewater field. And I felt that he's looking for a career in that where he can grow. The other jobs, just so you guys know, cause you can't see it, right now he's working for a cable company, doing technician stuff. And, he was working at, Napa Auto Parts for a bit. And he's also a volunteer firefighter at Garrettsville. I asked him if that would interfere, but he said no, they don't go out that much. And he didn't, you know, of course, if we have an emergency here, this is gonna take precedence, you know. But I thought it seemed like he was very flexible. What was the other thing?
He's close.
He is close, he lives in Garrettsville. He's got a young family. And it seems like this could be a place that he could grow. And also, what we were discussing was, if Bill retires, cause Bill's gonna retire eventually, he's not gonna keep hanging on, right? So, he will have the licenses to cover both, and maybe we can go down to one superintendent for both, like the other small communities around us do. So, I mean, it would only make sense, you know, to do it that way eventually, because it'll save money. It'll save the village money in the long run. And there you have it, you know, so.
It is a good find, to
We haven't
find
had
somebody that
any
has
other
both.
applicants so far, but,
It's hard to find people with those kind of licenses,
mhm.
and let alone class 2 and a class 1. In our pay scale.
So do we wanna make a motion to hire him, is that where you're?
Yeah.
If we're agreeable with that amount, 27, I
Sir?
mean, it's, normally we don't start that high.
Go
All right,
ahead.
how long has it been since he's actually worked in the water or sewage field?
Let's see.
23, in 2021 to 2023, he worked for water in Middlefield.
Middlefield, he also worked for the county, which
For Garrettsville.
that actual job was just like an isolated plant thing. It wasn't doing multiple jobs all over the town like this would be. And then he also did work for Garrettsville too. So between 2019 and this year, he got the experience and took the tests and passed them, aced them really, I mean.
But he's short so many hours for
Both.
both?
Yeah, the
I
way
think
it
it's
works-
one
How many
month
hours
he's
is he
short.
short?
1 month he's short in water.
1 month?
It's the same with this class 2 wastewater.
Class 2,
So
or
that is class 1 currently.
Ryan,
waste is
speak to
3
that, how that
years,
works.
yeah.
How many hours does he need?
He needs
500 and some odd hours.
560 hours he needs, which is 3.5 months.
Oh, okay.
And
Sorry, I
then,
missed
and then the wastewater is the same thing. So if we hire him, what I wanna do is give him maybe 20-30% time at the wastewater plant, so he can get hours down there until he reaches his 500 and he'll have his class 2.
Yeah, that would-
And then, you know, even if we don't have one superintendent, if Billy stays, or if he leaves, or if we hire somebody else, it's still gonna be hard to get somebody to come in and say, okay, well, you can't have a vacation.
Right.
You know what I mean? And nothing else, he could cover for vacation, for time off,
Absolutely,
whatever.
gives you a lot of flexibility.
So just that alone.
So for waste, he only needs 500 hours too, so both of
For
them.
the class 2, he's got
Okay,
class 1
okay.
already. He needs
Okay.
3.5 months for his class 2, and 3.5 months, they're almost
Gotcha,
identical.
gotcha.
It's like 654 hours for the whole license.
Go
Yes,
ahead.
sir.
Has anyone spoke to Jeff Shanahan over in Garrettsville to ask them their opinion when he worked over there
No,
at their plant?
no. Ryan, did you?
Nobody
call
called
You know
for
Jeff?
references?
the references?
You know Jeff?
Why didn't they do a
Do you know something we don't know, sir?
Well, I don't know, what do you know?
Well, I'm just saying, you're asking about talking to him, I didn't know if there was something we should know.
No, but I think you should know, what you don't know.
Why couldn't you ask for references?
Well, they're here, and Ryan, do you wanna call, or I just kind of assumed you did,
No, I
but,
don't wanna call.
Okay.
You know, just talking to him, he's qualified, the kid can learn, you know what I mean, we need an operator. The thing is,
We'll review after 6 months, if he's either doing the job or he's not.
right,
If he's not, he's out.
no one else is applying, so.
It's gonna
Well,
be
why
tough.
can't somebody go over and talk to Jeff, since he worked next door in
Somebody
Garrettsville?
should check references.
Yeah, they
At least
should
a
check
couple.
Marilyn,
references.
maybe from
Sure.
a personnel standpoint, yeah.
I.
When was he in Garrettsville? What years?
2019 to 2021.
2021, so recently.
Not been that long.
Yeah.
Jeff will remember him.
Yeah, at least a couple.
So we wanna make a motion pending references and pay?
Sure.
I don't know if we can add to the agenda.
No,
But do we wanna wait until September for
Yes.
the water
Well,
superintendent?
if you
Yeah.
guys agree, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you guys agree on the price and want to give him a chance, and and his references come back okay. Am I correct, can Mac hiring without legislation?
If the board approves it, yeah, he can certainly be hired.
So-
The question is if you're hiring him or you're not hiring him. And you still have a probationary period for any new employee, correct?
Right, 6
Yeah,
months.
he's on
That's,
probation.
that's the whole point.
I mean, if there's something in the background check that's not gonna show up that he should have reported on his resume, I mean, it's a big red flag, I would think, correct?
Right.
Anytime I hire anyone, that's what I would do.
Yeah,
Ask them for any background issues that you have. If you don't report it to me, then it's a significant issue right off the bat.
We
Yeah.
always
So
do
that can all
background check
happen
when we hire.
after tonight's meeting. That's normally what you do, you make a motion to hire somebody pending their background check, drug test, whatever. The way it's always happened for me.
Yeah, I think we should, get moving on it. 'Cause-
We are doing a background check and drug test?
It's in the handbook.
We do the background check on
Okay.
everybody.
When will that be done?
Yeah,
As soon as he can get it done. I mean, chief can get the background check, right?
right?
Yeah, I can do that.
So, as long as we take a drug test, when we get the results back, we can start.
Pending,
Pending.
Maryland's, some conversations
References.
Maryland's going to have.
Okay, so.
Are we okay with the salary? With the amount? Amount?
Are we saying 27, and then what do you, I mean,
Whatever it is.
you're gonna give him 27, and then in 6 months from now, you're gonna bump him up $3 more an hour?
No.
No.
because
I
we'll
mean,
take-
that's what according to.
No, it wouldn't be.
I mean,
It says right here, close to $30 possibly.
Right?
It's gonna take us a lot longer than 6
$60,000
months to get his wastewater at
What do you
20%.
think, Chuck?
At 20%, it's gonna take us
What do you
probably,
think?
Think for-
He already
For
told us
hiring?
what he thinks.
He said
He just
he's
said.
gonna be on 6-month probation.
Yeah, I think it's,
Do you have a probationary period within the handbook?
Yes,
Yeah.
we do.
6 months.
6 months.
yeah, 6 months, so you have a good opportunity to
Observe.
observe.
We need
And then come
hours.
back together and say, hey, this guy's working out, or he's not.
One of his qualifications should be in a 6-month period, he should get both of his licenses, correct?
Right.
well, he won't have enough time to get his wastewater at 30% in
Okay,
6 months.
yeah,
He'll get his water,
Get
cause
his water
you
though,
don't
right?
give him 100% yet. You give him 100% in water until he gets his 3 months, and then when he gets his water, then you switch it to 20-30%.
But that's
whatever it
20%
is.
is only 32 hours a month.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So
it'll
it's
take
gonna
him
take
quite
a
some
while.
time.
That's
You
what I'm
have to
saying, it's
pump
not gonna
that.
be 6 months, it's
Right.
gonna be,
Yeah,
Well, that would be up to you to work that out
right,
Do
between.
you have a
Billy.
third party for background checks?
I mean, the best I
Sheriff's
can
office.
do is refer him to the sheriff's office and do a
That's what I
BCI
would
background check.
Because then it's no
And
conflict.
that
of
would probably be
interest.
$75 fee for him. Now, Nicole, I was able to waive it because she's gonna be working with some of our paperwork. So she should be able to get hers for free, but they'll charge him for that, so I don't know if you guys wanna pay that or not.
I think if he passes, we should reimburse.
agreed.
We didn't, he's asking us if the village wants to.
Oh.
Background check.
That's what he said.
He
If
said
it
the
passes-
village, not him.
Oh,
I feel pretty confident that his background check's gonna come back okay, so, I mean, I don't.
You don't trust anybody in this world today.
BCI is a good,
That's a good thing to do, so is the drug test.
Yeah.
we would just have to make a recommendation to use Portage County Sheriff's Office, right? Or we just do it?
I think you just do it.
Alright, perfect. Maryland?
Okay, and then what about the reference checks?
After you do the reference, you can.
You want me to send you guys emails
Yes,
tomorrow
please.
after I figure it out?
Yep.
You know,
If you can make the call, I can.
I'll see who I can talked to tomorrow.
Yeah,
Okay,
just a couple.
I mean, there's only, there's of course his job now, but that's
You don't wanna do
the
that.
cable plant, so there's 3 wastewater, qualifications that we can call. he gives the supervisors and the phone numbers, it should be straightforward. Another question?
Yeah, so Ryan was saying that he can't complete what he needs to complete in the 6-month probationary period then, is that what you're saying?
For the wastewater. For the
Just for the
wastewater too.
wastewater.
That's for sewer.
He's being hired for water.
He's being
Right.
hired for water, but not
Right.
wastewater?
Correct.
Correct.
Is there another
Billy's still-
probationary period for that then, or no?
Yes. For all new hires, there's a probationary period.
So he's doing 6-month probation for the water department superintendent,
That's
correct?
all he is.
Correct.
And then, if
He's
he
not
doesn't
gonna
have
do
enough
sewer.
hours for the sewer
No,
plant,
he's not, he's only going to
He's
work
just-
towards getting his hours. So when the, wastewater retires, we'll have a backup for that area.
that's licensed,
He will be, yes, he has passed the test already, both of them.
but he doesn't have the hours.
He doesn't have the hours.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct,
so,
yeah.
but once he has the 6 months, even if he doesn't have a sewer license, he's still gonna
He'll be certified with the water.
get his
He's strictly
hours for
water.
the sewer, so he can get both in, right?
Correct.
Correct, for the future, for him, yes.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions? No? You have a voice?
I reach out
I
to him.
do. I got
Oh, okay.
quite a few things, actually.
Oh,
We're done.
well-
So did we figure out a
Well,
motion to
you're
hire
done
him,
here.
or?
Wait,
Yeah,
wait,
we
wait.
have to
Yeah.
do a motion.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to hire Brandon Nutter for water superintendent
At
Base.
$27.
at $27 an hour to start. 6-month probation period, pending references, background check and drug test.
Yes.
I will second.
Yes.
Chuck, can we add to the agenda? Now, Tom's always told us we couldn't, that we couldn't
Tom's
add to the
retired.
agenda.
I don't, I mean, you have it,
But, I
in there,
mean-
you have the discussion of him, there's nothing on there about hiring him
No.
tonight.
Just,
Yeah.
there's just a
So,
discussion.
I mean, legally, I didn't know if we can add to
I
an
mean, you
agenda
could-
that's already been out.
Can you give me
I
permission?
think Tom's
Warren?
already said, no, we couldn't. I mean, it's up
It's
to
on the
you.
agenda.
You could hire him, they can ratify it next month.
Oh, so it'll be on the next month's agenda, but he can start sooner,
Yes.
just with the date.
Long conversation.
Okay, so David seconded,
I-
seconded
We need to-
seconded that motion.
Mr. Garrett?
Sorry.
Yes,
Ms. Altier?
What are we doing? We can't make a motion.
yeah,
The
we
there's a
can.
motion on the floor.
We just said, but it won't be official till we,
Yeah.
Ratify it
All right.
next month.
We have to
Okay.
withdraw the motion, is what we have to do, because it won't be on the agenda until next month, but Brandon, if everything passes everybody's approval, then he can hire him, and we will bring it back to the
Put the
legislation
effective
on
date.
September's council meeting.
The
Right.
Effective date he starts.
There we go. So you just need to withdraw your
Okay.
motion.
So now we have to withdraw the motion to hire Brandon Nutter for water superintendent,
Pending.
pending all the outcomes of background checks.
I think that's okay.
Yep, we're good, okay.
Okay.
Moving on, Parks and Rec.
That's-
Oh, no.
I got this.
Do you wanna go village, do you wanna do where you're talking to village administrator stuff, or this is all, you need to talk now? You're good, go ahead.
Joe Summers, I'd like to bring him back for the weekend and holidays, give the guys a break and it's straight time.
he still wants to do that?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, I think it's wonderful. Honestly, he's familiar with both plants. He gives the guys a break on the weekend.
They did that for a
He
long
did a
time.
great
Yeah,
job.
long
He's
time.
reliable, he's dependable, he's honest, he's trustworthy. And it saves them guys overtime and they have life. So, he'd like to come back and I'd like to do it.
What's his name?
Joe
Joe
Summers. Joe
He's asked
probably
me
did that
twice
for a
now,
decade
so-
or more.
Oh, yeah.
So that would be on the September agenda too,
Mhm.
correct?
Okay.
Okay.
What are you looking at, wage wise? I don't remember what we paid, but obviously you'd have to change with the times.
Yeah,
He hasn't done it in,
Even,
when's the last time he did that for us?
about 5 years ago,
Has it been that long?
Longer
I
than
think it
that.
was.
He was gone.
You could talk to him,
2018.
figure that out in committee, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think it's a good idea, though.
It would give the guys a break.
You know, the guys are gonna make $30-some an hour on
Right.
overtime,
Oh, yeah.
so if you gave him 20,
He's
you're saving $12,
yeah.
but you're not paying the.
Overs
Overs.
and everything else.
Right.
Well, you'd be
You
paying
have to
overs.
cover
You have to.
You, I mean,
Oh, you do?
insurance and all that stuff.
Right.
The fringe benefits.
Right,
Whenever you're done, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
that's it.
So, safety and personnel, the mayor hired the assistant, I forget her name, I apologize, but does that need to be ratified on September's council meeting then too? Since it's a new employee to the village, or is it
think
just
so.
superintendents?
No, it should be every.
It should be everybody that, I would think.
I don't think you need to. Department heads, yes.
Oh,
People who work for departments don't need to be ratified every time by the council.
okay.
I
Your
just
department
want,
heads have the
She's a
ability to
part-time,
hire.
Yeah.
right, I just wanna make sure if we need
It's
something
nice
on
that you guys
record
go through the
or-
whole process with them, but if they're underneath, a department head, that person can do the hiring. As long as
Okay.
they pass your background checks and you're following the handbook for the hiring process.
Okay, cause the handbook was kind of weird on how I was reading, so I just wanna make sure we're doing all this on there, if we didn't need to do that.
Okay.
What else, Rick?
I'll get to the rest later.
Okay. All right, Parks and Rec, I don't have anything this meeting. Planning Commission, Mac didn't share anything with me unless you have something.
Parks and Rec, Nicole sent an email earlier saying what we had brought in after our
Mhm.
expenses. If you get with her and it's like kind of explain the donation that came in.
So I
We've
already
already
did.
done that.
Okay,
Yes.
alright.
We already did that.
Mhm.
It actually came about 3 years ago, I'll find it.
Was it
But
3 years?
five.
It was- I
Yeah,
knew it was
I talked to
okay.
Rick.
Yep, okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Wanna make
Yeah, I knew
sure.
that there was something too, but I just couldn't find it, but
Yeah,
now I
excellent.
talked to Rick. Yeah.
Good deal.
Wonderful.
All right, Rick?
So we got the cars, we have to install the radios and the computers and stuff, so it's gonna be maybe a week or two before we can get all that manufactured, done and put in. The only thing I wasn't happy with, and it wasn't on the thing, and we missed it, was the antenna for the mobile data computer thing. And I didn't wanna mess with putting holes in a new car, so I'm gonna see if that's difficult, and maybe have to call somebody to see what that would cost to have them install it, instead of us screwing something up. But we'll figure it out. New building, we are real close in now. We got a tall toe case, and we're finishing insulating the outside ceiling and lobby and putting ceiling tiles in. And I got a call in to have it inspected, so whenever they get back to me for that, then we should be good to try to start moving. The IT side of it, I'm working on. She sent me a grant for getting all of our stuff upgraded and updated. That's due by September 14th, which is gonna be a lot of legwork, which is gonna slow us down on everything else, because we're gonna pull from everywhere to try to get this done. But if we get it done, it'll pay for all of the upgrades we need for the servers and everything else. It will actually be 80/20. So, but it's gonna save us a lot of money. We had somebody come and quote us right now, it was like $8,000 to split the stuff, move into one building, and then upgrade some of the stuff here. And then there was gonna be a monthly fee for the cloud, which was gonna be like $333, which I'm gonna talk to a few people. I don't know that we need a cloud for storage, because we don't have that much storage. So we may be able to have a standalone computer that will back up here, and the other one back up at the police department, vice versa. So we don't have to incur that monthly fee of $4,000 or $5,000 a year. They're working on trying to get me that information right now, and then once they get that, I can throw that out to some other people to see if we can get a better price. But, they're currently, what is the name of it, Quality IP is gonna work with us to try to give us the information we need for the grant as well. So, but I'll keep you guys updated on, if we end up switching with somebody else, cause Nicole had somebody that had done some work for them in another place, and, the school's got somebody, so I definitely would take whatever they give us and share with them to see if they can do it cheaper. But right now,
So you're not gonna be using servers or anything like that?
so right now, we may need, like, not the server type that we have currently. It would be like a smaller version of a server, but they're cheaper than they used to be. Like, you're looking at maybe a $4,000 investment with a 10 terabyte server, when we have a 1 terabyte server over there, you guys pay $10,000 for.
Right.
And it could be in one place and then a standalone computer somewhere else. So it's considerably cheaper than us upgrading and doing servers, which we don't need. So it may say it's a server, like we have one over there currently that could be classified as a server, but it's running the CMI software and all the water department stuff, because they still have to be housed here because their vendor doesn't supply that. So that's what they're working on to find out. It'll stand up, stand alone on a desktop or a server here with enough storage space. So that's where we're at, and we're gonna try to push to at least get the application in to the state by September 14th. As the application, then we can change or do whatever we gotta do, but it's gotta be accepted by that date.
What about the radar gun? You ever gonna get that?
I called and talked to him today. So he just signed the ordinance, so the ordinance now is in effect. They don't have the traffic gun in yet, so he's waiting to receive it. And he just gave me a date so that we can actually install some of the software that is gonna be needed for that. So I'm thinking we're gonna be looking at October, maybe, before we can start doing our 30-day.
The Hiram one.
It's a 30-day trial with them, so
It's
what, can
one.
you do me a favor? Can you ask him what if that one breaks, what happens?
Oh, they sent it back to Missouri, I can tell you right now, because the one in Hiram.
I know, I
broke,
talked to them
it's-
in
it's
Hiram
been-
already, and they
it's-
told me they're very, very frustrated. to be
Yeah, it's
honest.
been broke for a month.
Yeah. And, cause it's touch screen, and it broke, and there's no backup, makes no sense to me.
And then it's supposed to be back in a week, it's been, I'm sorry, this resident not, but it's been over
Yeah,
a month.
yeah, I talked to her, yeah.
And when I talked to him today, I brought up that specific situation, and he's trying to have like a third one on stamp that they have housed there that they can give out when one breaks. Apparently, I don't know what the story is with the Hiram one, but it got broken because somebody threw it, or tossed it, or it fell.
Yeah, it's touchscreen, that's all she said,
Yes.
was it broke 2 weeks into having it, so.
Have we paid them, any money at all?
No.
And then, has Hiram collected any revenue from theirs yet?
No, 0, she told me.
They have.
No, it's not.
She told me they have not collected any
I
money.
can tell you that there's been reported, at least one of them,
Okay,
so,
$30.
well, the fine's significantly more than that, I know they wrote tickets, I can tell you that.
When I
They
talked to
broke
them,
pretty quickly.
they had issued 100 tickets in a week, and then it broke. So, depending on how many people paid it, and whatever that would be, whatever.
They have 30 days to appeal.
Do you have anything else, Rick?
I don't believe so.
So, real quick, I wanted to understand, what's the plan? I know you said you're gonna sell the other cars that we have out here. What does that look like? What are you thinking? A month, 2 months? What are you?
So, we're gonna strip down, I'm already gonna have them start stripping some of the decals and stuff off. We gotta pull the radios, we gotta take the mounts out, we gotta probably reinstall the seats that we have from the back to get more money if we don't sell. I don't wanna sell it with all the equipment in it if it's not a police department that
Right,
buys
sure.
them. So that will be a little bit, we'll list them on Gov Deals. So we're gonna sell 2 of the Crown, or the Explorers and the silver car.
So we're selling a total of 3 cars.
Yes.
Then how many cars will we have?
That'll leave us with 4 in the SRO. We're gonna keep one of the old ones as a backup, for the backup.
So we'll have 4 older ones and then the 2 new ones we just
We'll have
purchased?
we'll have 3 older ones and 2 new ones.
Do you have anything else?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. Thank you. Chris?
Okay, it's been a good month. It's been actually really busy this month. Issued several permits, mostly fences, addition, and I still issued a roof permit. Had a garage, carport garage, and when I do these permits, I try and print the ordinance along with, their permits so they can go by the rules, you know, the codes. But, we had a carport garage, and, I gave them the ordinance, and I talked to the guy who did it, kinda did it before we got the permit, but we got it covered, he's taken care of. But someone had asked about, how it's strapped down. Well, they actually did the footers. So when we get into stuff like that, I don't require drawings like that, that's the county stuff. So, and I also met with, Randy, the director of the building county. He educates me, he's kind of my little buddy, but he educates me on a lot of stuff. So been talking to him, attended several meetings, and there was a couple of things that stood out. In Ritztown, they have, I don't know if it's in yet, they have a medical marijuana dispenser they're trying to bring in, or they're working on it. But they're talking about an amendment, changing the language from marijuana dispenser medical, and then marijuana dispensaries recreational. So the way I understand, the state must approve the medical marijuana, but the voters voted in the recreational. So, but they're requiring the same zoning and all of that. And then there was something, cause you know, we were looking into some of this, and it still may happen. I've had people call me about it. And the townships are out in that area, they have to be 1,000 feet from churches, schools. So that stood out, but you know, the village requires 500 feet, so you know, we're good there. But that stood out, and then Todd Peets is still talking about the accessory dwelling units. Again, this doesn't always apply to the village, but it's nice to know maybe it could happen one day over here, but.
Hey Chris, real quick.
Yeah.
Has Todd Peets or
Lisa,
has he mentioned anything about any of the grants that we talked to him about, the sidewalks?
yeah, you guys were on there, I think.
We're on there, okay, good.
Yeah, I forget what it's called, I don't have the grant language.
Okay,
But yeah, Windham was on there,
Okay.
I'm sorry, I forgot about that.
no, you're fine.
But these accessory dwelling units, I mean, I'm inspired by them because I'm in the township, and some other people may, but what, they're still trying to bring it about where you can have 2 living dwellings on your own, on your lot, on your land, where, because of kids, college kids and your elderly parents, whatever, you can have 2 living quarters. So you can have a small, tiny house, or you can have a garage with an apartment. Yeah, they're still looking at
Where
this.
is that at?
They're trying to bring it into Portage County.
Oh, really?
I mean, this has been, they're discussing it, so I think that's a great idea. And the main thing, like you said, these college kids, they get out of school, they can't afford to go anywhere. So, but the thing is, they wanna make sure the homeowners live in the primary home. So it's not a party house or anything like that. This is stuff they're discussing. And I think, that's about it.
Oh, okay,
So-
thank you, Chris.
Alright,
All right, housing report to Mel.
Just getting back into, just got one thing.
besides, getting back into inspecting, the rental properties again. I did talk with, Real Management for, 9515 community, and they just finished that roof over there. So I will be re-inspecting next week on the 4th for that. And, I talked about the assessments last meeting, so that's pretty much what I got right now.
Thank you. All right, village administrator Ryan.
Okay, so, next month, the 9th, the second week of the month, I believe I can go to 32 hours. Starting the 9th, that would be a new pay period. So if you guys are okay with that, I'll tell it's okay. I think
I'm okay with it.
Saves the
Yeah, we've talked
money.
about that
Yeah,
before.
yeah, it's-
So it would no longer be under full benefits, correct?
He doesn't
He
have full
doesn't get
benefits.
it
Oh,
anyway.
yeah, okay, right.
So that way, yeah. So, and then I talked about Joe Summers, I didn't know if we was gonna discuss, or if we got the money figured out, let's talk about Andrew.
What are we talking about?
Andrew, we talked about giving him $1 for stepping up.
We discussed that the last meeting.
You were waiting for Nicole. What did you think?
I mean, the money, sorry, yeah.
We were waiting for him to have a better understanding of our finances.
Yeah,
Right.
and what we were going to be paying the new gentleman
Yeah.
compared to,
Right.
you know,
Andrew and Tom,
yeah.
And that's not settled yet either. We haven't talked to them.
No, but we know what we would pay him if
Oh,
we're
yeah.
going, that was the more of the question, of how much we're going to pay him per hour.
Math is right, it equals out. What?
What is Andrew at right now?
2050.
That'd pretty much be the same payroll that we had prior.
Yeah.
And I think Andrew's taking his test in a couple weeks too, so.
And he's gonna be, we're asking a lot of him. We had a new guy went out.
Yeah, he really stepped up too, like,
He's gonna have
grabbed
to-
the whole by the arms, so.
I'm okay with it. It's good. Cause he's gonna have to step up some more, until our new guy gets the ropes.
That's just.
Andrew's a hard worker.
So if he passes his test in 3 weeks, what's the increase to? Is that $1.50?
No, yeah,
I think that, well, not only that, I mean, I really think we need to look, I think we need to look at it as a whole. I mean, to Scott's point, these jobs are not jobs that everybody's running to apply for, and you do have to pass a state test, and you do have to manage your license every year, depending on how many licenses you have. There's certain, education that you have to take. I can't remember how many hours it is.
Just keep up with all the changes, right?
It's continuing education, that's what I was thinking,
There
Aaron.
will
Thank
be a
you.
law that they change sometimes twice a year, or they've had in the past, but it's a lot to keep up with.
So to answer your question, I don't know, to be honest.
We can discuss
$1, $1.50, or, I don't know.
Yeah, I was just curious
It's-
what
No, I know, I'm
you
just
get
saying,
when you
I,
pass.
that's just my opinion, but,
I don't know.
We used to have it.
but that needs to be,
That's,
I think we need to look at updating
I
our
agree.
salary, sheets that Terry has, it's like 50 years old.
Pay ordinance,
Yes,
Mac and I,
It's-
we talked about that.
yeah, we
Mac
talked
and I,
about,
it's on my desk,
Yeah.
actually, Mac and I are gonna
Yeah.
work on it tomorrow.
Yeah.
It'll be
I
in
mean,
That's the
tomorrow.
same mechanism you hire
yes,
new people.
yes, you should.
August of 22.
You can go to Target and make more money.
The August of, Terry, the August of 22 was only the update was the only for,
Marie.
council member, I thought.
Oh,
We didn't touch any of the other stuff.
and Anne Marie, I think.
Yeah, Marie, and then the,
It doesn't have a date on here.
that's,
Just that one.
was the only update. It didn't look at all the other positions.
So,
What?
So what are we gonna do with the under?
It's $1 per hour
It's
for
water
license.
one.
That's what it says.
Okay.
but doesn't it have to be on the agenda? And that's what we're talking about with the other thing.
Right,
We can't change
right.
The pay ordinance? Oh,
No, to give an increase.
Yeah, we
No.
have
It
to-
depends if it's within your pay ordinance. 'Cause
Oh,
you've
okay.
as long as you've allocated the money to be spent, which is why it's important to update that.
Yeah.
Then you can certainly, they can
I
do
don't
it.
think he's at the
It doesn't
top.
really need your approval.
No.
to do
He
it.
is not.
It-
No,
No.
he's not at the top.
The only thing is, what council
He's at
does
the
is
bottom.
you approve the
The
amount of
parameters.
money, the parameters, exactly.
Okay,
And then it's gonna take care of it.
okay.
So we,
I'm fine with it.
you
I'm
got
fine
this?
with it.
Me too.
Yeah, I would say yes.
Let's do that.
The only other, very last thing I got is,
Effective,
I wanna,
sorry, effective, just so I know.
I would say beginning of next pay period or last pay period or.
I thought we talked about prorating that after we talked about it.
We just started a new pay period too,
I mean, we
just, it's
could
up to you, I mean.
I mean, it's up to you guys, I mean, you can start a new period.
So how about effective, Sundays, is that our new pay period on Sunday? New pay
Today
period?
is,
Yeah,
today's our new period.
that's ending on Sunday, this past Sunday was our start.
Goes Sunday to Saturday.
23rd.
Yeah, so, okay, I'll make it, thank you, just wanted to make sure I have that.
Okay, so the last thing I got is, I'd like to look into if we're allowed, Chuck will have to help me with this, but, seeing if we could do our own nuisance mowing.
Do what?
Our own
Nuisance
nuisance
mowing.
mowing.
Sorry.
Do we have the guys to do that?
What do you want to do? I don't know. But the thing we run into is, I got a call from a resident who got assessed and he got a lawyer, and we'll actually lose money on it. So if there is a way, and you know, if we have Joe, if we have 2 water guys, we have 2 wastewater guys, I mean, we'll see, I don't know, but I think it's worth looking into. If there's a way we could do our own village mowing, if something happens and they get a lawyer, we're not losing money. Might not get the full $1,000, but we're not gonna lose $200.
Are we still?
Are we
paying?
allowed to do that?
We're paying
Because I
now.
thought Debbie always said we were not able to do
Well,
that.
that
Well,
was
we
my
can do it, it
understanding
just,
too,
do we
but-
have the people to do it?
No.
Yeah.
It's a lot of mowing.
So you say we wouldn't lose money if they sue us, is that what you're saying? We still have to pay Charles to
He's
go to
not
court.
suing for we just
Right,
talked
right.
about this an hour
Oh,
before the
okay.
meeting.
It's not.
He got an attorney, he's trying to negotiate the amount down.
Well,
There's
so
been no
that-
conversations about it yet.
Right.
So the,
Money's been assessed already, it's already been leaned on his property, correct?
Yes.
what I say
So-
we do is we get 3 bids for next year and going forward. Cause then you could say we went with, we had 3 bids for the mowing service, so that way they can't come back and say, oh, well, he's artificially inflating or whatever the case.
Oh, he's talking about doing it in-house.
Yeah,
not-
I'm just talking
No,
about
I'm saying
doing
if we can't do it
No,
in-house.
okay.
I would stay away from doing it in-house.
Yeah, I don't think we have the
Ban-
manpower to do it. You know, we have a lot of mowing to begin with.
Right.
And we lost a lot of properties, and we hope that, you know, we sell a lot more, get rid of some property. Once that's, if we get rid of the property out there, all we have is carpenter field in the park. So, maybe not now, but if we get to that point later, I think it's something to think about. But that's all I
Yeah,
can.
yes.
But no, we'll switch you over.
Okay. Anything else, Ryan?
No, that's it.
Last chance for members of council to speak on any subject. Yes, I'm under
before the meeting started, I talked to Charles about the water rates, and he recommends that we bring it, to committee and then recommend it for an increase. So we can do 3 reads and do it that way. And then, did the hydrant get ordered? I know we obviously went through a lot with the water plant. Do we know if the hydrant was ordered?
It was, I got the quote, I did not write the quote because he was waiting on.
Who's that through?
Coordinate.
It's done, the PO's
Oh,
done,
yeah.
It's been done, yeah, I had told them, yeah, they can pick it up, it's
Okay.
done.
So that's something we can work on getting installed then? Cool.
David, are you
Yeah.
talking about water rates or water and sewer rates both?
Would be both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
And that's something Mitch recommended for being able to obtain money for grants and stuff,
Okay.
is they always look for that 5% increase. Yes, you
Annually,
get-
yes.
It's good forever.
Yeah, we did it and then we paused it for a couple years, and then permanently suspended it until we wanted to revisit it. But he strongly recommended bringing that back. And the other one was, when we had that whole pump ordeal where we didn't order one, but they sent it and billed us, was that all taken care of? So that was removed from the bill, we didn't pay that back? Okay, but we didn't pay that part of it, okay. That's all I have.
All right, solicitors report? Nothing? All right, very good.
Always good news.
Always good news. All right, can everybody take a look at the calendar and see if September 10th and September 24th works for everybody?
It does.
Looks good for me.
Yep, good? Yeah.
I can't make the 10th. I am
In
on shift
24th?
that day.
The 10th it is.
It's just me, I don't have to be here.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, so, David's the only one out. Everybody else good? All right, okay. All right, 7:09, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting of the whole.
Yeah, call me.
It's
Second.
nothing to us.
I'm sorry, Karen, is that you?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Mr. Garrett,
Yes.
Ms. Altier,
Yes.
Ms. Pennington,
Yes.
Ms. Gage,
Yes.
Ms. Belknap,
Yes.
Mr. Belknap.
Yes.
Woo-hoo.
All right, sounds like I'll probably need to send
David.
this stuff to you.
Oh, yeah, I got
And,
some.
as far as the,
Uh,
Yeah, that was